Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is LolaAjisafe. Today we are reviewing Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is season 3, episode 4. I think something about Kimpossible behavior. Alright, housekeeping rules before we start. Don't forget to like the video. Boop, boop. Well, press one time. Drop a comment. Love to interact with people. Hear what you think. What do you think? What do you want me to talk about? Because we can talk about other things other than the show, which is what I'm trying to put together as my time I begin to craft my time out for this. And then of course, most importantly, don't forget to subscribe. So we're going to kind of go right back into it. So last week we ended on this disastrous, birthday luncheon that we're having. The new character, Tiffany, who's been introduced, finds herself to be a new, Kenya Moore. And so she goes on this week to continue to explain herself. First of all, she starts with, she definitely appears to be unapologetic about her disclosing stuff about a child, disclosing unnecessary information, in my opinion. And she says she was talking about it because she wanted to tell her, remind her, use it as a reference point that they'd met before. Yes. And then first of all, in one confessional, she says, well, in one part of her confessional, she's like, she's acting like she doesn't know, what did I say? It was really nothing, and da-da-da. Well, it's your birthday, so you can cry if you want to. Y'all, she's, for those of us who, kind of, I won't say over the hill, but we've been around for a minute and know some of the songs. That's a song. It's your birthday. I'm gonna let you cry if you want to. So she's referencing a song. So she's not 15. She's not a teenager. She's not a young girl. So at this age, of course, age doesn't dictate wisdom, but there's some wisdom that's required, or you're just gonna end up hating what you get coming back at you. So now she's singing the song. It's your birthday. I can cry if you want to. Cry if you want to. Yeah. So she's actually mocking her. And the thing is, with the way it occurred, I think Destiny just decided to walk up, get out, just to not go further. Because Destiny can hold her weight in gold. Like she'll go toe to toe. But at that point, she just decided that one, she probably didn't want to interact because she didn't want to ruin her birthday by getting angry or getting into a fight or messing, changing the tone of the scene. And then two, maybe she didn't want to disclose any more information as to really what transpired as to why she and her husband are divorced, because she's saying it's a casualty of the pandemic. There's more to it than that, because I look at Destiny, she's smart. We all know she's smart. I don't know about her husband, so she's smart. So it's like, smart people make mistakes. So it's like, did she go into this lightly and then realize that, oh, he's not my people? So there are many, and this is, if you're going to be on a reality show, unfortunately, these are the things that are going to come, that some things need to come out. Yeah, you divorced, but all of us are looking like, what? Huh? We just knew him as a chicken man. We knew your beef with Kimmy, first of all, was because of him. Now all of a sudden you're divorced and you want to keep it under wraps. So maybe she just decided, I'm not even going to go into it. So, because even there was a point where Melody had said, oh, so when she came back to the table, so is he a cheater? Is he a cheater? And then Destiny looking uncomfortable before she says no. So I don't know what he is, but the truth is, if you're on a reality show and you have this wedding you have this divorce that came from nowhere, all of a sudden it's concluded, closed, and signed, delivered. Trust and believe, both your castmates and the public, us, me, we want to kind of know. We're curious, what happened? So don't be upset if people are gonna be nudging you blind. So, gee, what happened? Because all marriages didn't break down because of the pandemic. So there's more to it than that. But yeah, if we're just want to end on this point, it's just like, yeah, Tiffany, sis, you ain't 14, you ain't 21. If you know that song, It's My Party, I Can Cry If I Want to, then you've been around a minute. So you're gonna act accordingly. I know it's the reality show, but this thing's like, people gonna be, the producer's gonna be like pushing you, do this, do that, say this, say that. And it's like throwing stones. And when the backlog comes, they're gonna have their hands behind, fingers and hands behind their backs, like they didn't say anything. Because you always hear people say, well, the producer, you're the one who's gonna catch the heat. There's a nameless, faceless producer who might have told you to behave like that, but they're not the ones catching the heat. Act accordingly. This, in my opinion, that was wrong. And you even still unapologetic. Let's see how it goes. You might flip it, you might not. But next scene, we see Marcel and Tisha, boudoir outfit. She's feeling some kind of sense of insecurity. She's trying to flip it around. Stuff is going on. We're going to talk more about that later. What's really going on? Lived in Alabama, maybe about. And so with this national coverage and exposure, she's feeling a sense of inequality. Cause he always talk down to her anyway. Like, we know he's the villain, but he's the villain we love to hate. We actually like him and we love him. We love him and then we hate him at the same time. I don't really hate him actually. I don't hate myself. I find him interesting because he's intelligent. Like he's, you know, then he's do a little thing like here, like here. So actually, I don't hate him. And still, his villainership, his level of villainhood, his level of villainhood is still in the acceptable range for me. So actually, I'm still enjoying him on the show. But I feel like with the exposure he's getting, maybe people share my sentiment and like him too. She's feeling the pressure because nobody's feeling her right now. And unfortunately, double standard, you know, as we as women, we have to do a little bit more to be liked, unfortunately. And she's coming off unlikable. She's coming off, you know, bratty. She's coming off immature. It's not working for her, so she has the boudoir little scene to try and get her husband back. We'll talk about that later anyway. All right, so going into the next scene, Kimmy and Maurice. Let's park right here. So this is season 3, but technically season 4, because I think season 2 was split up into 2 big chunks. And in all this time, prior to this episode, we haven't really looked at, you know, Kimmy and Maurice. You know, Kimmy to me has always been this really smart woman, really, and I don't use the word articulate, but very great way of communicating. She doesn't back down. She's strong, but she's not in your face. But you know you can't try. She's not gonna be like. She's not gonna go into She's not gonna go into a love and hip hop kind of scene. But she's gonna protect herself with her words. Love it. Beautiful woman. She's smart. She's, you know, she's strong, and she's been through it. So she's definitely got some wisdom. And then you have Maurice, the good guy. We don't know that much about him. He's always been a peacemaker and always been a good guy. But here on out, it looks like now, you know, and I think maybe this is why Martell and Melody were a little peeved that they were main course for the last 2 seasons. You know, it was their relationship the camera focused on. But alas, so they've divorced now. Now they're focusing on my sister Kimmy and her husband Maurice. And I hope and pray that the curse, the reality TV curse that sometimes happens to a lot of couples doesn't affect this couple, because now they're focusing on them. So, you know, Kimmy goes in to give him a recap of the luncheon she had with Tiffany. And she's like, yo, you know, Tiffany said this, Tiffany said that. And she said something about, you know, Monster was raping in the bathroom. Did you know about that? Because I didn't know, so I had nothing to say. Understandably so, Maurice was heated. Because he said that, how should that come up? Because now, both the ladies at the table and the viewers, people watching the show, you, me, I'm not part of you, I'm not judging. Because we understand kids, we know how people are. But yeah, y'all. Anyway, in general, he just feels like now they're going to be judging Monster at face value based on that disclosure, which is why I'm like, Tiffany, who sent you? You have a son. So, we get the Monster thing out of the way. Tiffany's Wahala out the way. But then there's more. And this more hadn't really been revealed. I mean, last week, I don't know if I wasn't paying attention in prior seasons, but I hadn't known that they had been dating for 7 years before they got married. So is that a sore point? She said she waited. She didn't, rightfully so. Like, once again, like what I said, it's not your job to propose, but she had been dating him as a mature woman with a mature man for 7 years before he proposed and before they got married. Thank God they got married. But is there, what's going on over there? And then she'd mentioned today, well, not today, when we watched the episode, that his work-life balance was off. That she felt like she was not getting any of his personal time. That she was the last person on the roster. You know how when you have like a roster for, you know, a set, like, you know, for the scenes. You've got this scene, you've got that scene, you've got all these scenes. But then she always felt like she was the last one at the end of the roster. So she wasn't getting any personal time with him. This is not new. So clearly she's been feeling like this, but this hasn't been revealed to us until now. So now they're looking for, God, I don't want this. You know what, I don't want to see this. Because I know how much I love Kimmy and how much I love Maurice. Maurice has always been like that. But the truth is, we're people. And we have faults. And we have deficiencies. But sometimes profiling those faults and deficiencies on a platform sometimes can break the relationship, and so that's what we're seeing. Uncharacteristically, like, he's defensive. Usually he's not. I mean, usually he's always, you know, kiki, laugh, we'll talk, and then he won't talk. But he's a part we haven't seen, like he's on the defense, and I guess rightfully so. It feels like she's coming for him, and the cameras are rolling, and it appears like he's not even listening to what she's saying. So I think he double backs and he comes back to why he didn't, because that was the main thing. This had happened, and it hadn't been. She had no wind of it. So he comes back to what she was thinking, which was, oh, this happened and I had no wind of it as a co-parent. You know, as a co-parent in the situation. Maybe she should have been alerted. And he says that he and Monster talked about it. You know, Monster was embarrassed, you know, and then he had agreed that he wouldn't talk about it with anyone, just to, you know, make him feel better, that, you know, so he could earn his trust. And that can happen when teens, you know, when they're really embarrassed and they feel stupid about something, they don't want you to talk about it. They don't want anyone, like my favorite or not my favorite, they just want it to be buried like it never happened. Unfortunately now, not only is it now, you know, known to Kimmy, it's known to us. Tiffany, once again, I'm gonna keep coming for Tiffany. Chance I get, every time we see you, beef on site. No, I'm just kidding. But it just seems sad that this poor boy was, you know, drawn or drug into this, because he shouldn't have been. It was enough for him to feel embarrassed where he and his dad agreed that, like, please don't even tell Miss Kimmy. I'm embarrassed. I don't want her to look at me with disappointment. I don't want to feel disappointed when people see me. That's what it is. So anyway, he kind of explained that when he give that explanation, I can say, I got it, I understand. Because sometimes just keeping their confidence, one, shows that the fact that he was embarrassed means that he's not going to do it again. And then two, then he can trust. And if he has a problem, he can go and approach his dad again and not go meet some dumb friend who doesn't have all the answers. I think this point here in this scene, I'm getting to see more of what's going on with Kimmy, because Kimmy always seems so well put together and so stable and steady, and just seems like everything's going fine, or maybe she's just handling it fine because she's developed that strength, that muscle of being a single parent for so long. She raised a son to now he's in his 20s and seems like a nice young man. The power and the strength that was required of that is what makes her appear to be just even keeled when everything isn't even keeled. She definitely is a strong woman, because we had no idea that this was going on, and this it didn't start happening in this episode. They just hadn't shown it. It hadn't been shown both by them or on cameras. So anyway, she, you know, discloses to him that she feels like, you know, he's treating her, talks to her like everything on a need-to-know basis, and apparently he feels like she don't need to know much, and she's a little miffed by it because she knows that she could help. She also feels that he doesn't respect her input. She's raised a young man, you know. It wouldn't hurt to, you know, kind of sit down with her, but he feels more like the input he wants to give is from the aspect of being a man, and he says particularly being a black man who's been successful. He wants to download that information that way into Monster. Next scene, we're talking about Kimmy, and she's been rehabbing houses for a minute now, like getting houses and flipping them. And so now she has this first project that she now gets to do with her son Jalen, because that's something they want to do. She wants to teach him like the business of it, see if it's something he wants to go into, because he's still not trying to find his way. Definitely into building multiple income streams, because he's the GM for Black, but also wants to learn this. So they kind of walk around, you know. So they do, as they're walking around and doing stuff, they're doing the recap of what's going on with Black. You know, Gus with his mom, that these people don't trust me, or they keep calling every 5 minutes. Don't they know I'm the one that's been running this place all this time? It's been me. No, I'm just teasing. Rightfully so. I kind of see both sides. On one side, you have, you know, the couple, you know, Tisha and Marcel. This is their first major business move in terms of into the restaurant and drink business, which we know 99% of these businesses fail. So they feel like this is their baby, they need to be on top of it. But on the other hand, you have Jalen, who feels like, yo, I'm grown up and I don't have training for this. If you give me someone, then me and that person can get it together. But you guys checking up on me every 5-10 minutes, I'm not with it. So I get both sides, growing pains. So this is still good. Both sides care, you know? And then they go into the dating recap, start talking about destiny, which I think is funny, you know. So it's talking about, yeah, maybe he had a crush. Anyway, he says that he wasn't crushing on Destiny, but he's been known to be the cougar tamer. Yeah, that was funny. That was cute. But I think what you see here is that they're close. They've been through a lot. They've had to do a lot of things, but just the two of them. It's been a journey that they share together. So there is that closeness there, and there's that easiness there. Kimmy, I think, from one moment to another, I think what you want to hear is, great job, you did a great job. Nobody's perfect, but it seems like you guys have a great relationship. Seems like a nice young man. So great job, because it's not easy. Being a single parent is not easy. It's not a joke. It was no joke yesterday, not a joke today. It's not going to be a joke tomorrow. It's real hard work, requires certain kind of strength, and most of the time putting yourself last. And she's done that. You deserve to get your flowers now. And then when I say flowers, I mean not just the good job stuff, but for you to be able to woosah, breathe, and make some things about just you. You wanted to just wake up and go to Bahamas next week and be able to do that. You couldn't do that before, but young man's grown. So that's what I'm saying by you should get your flowers now. Kudos to you, because it's not easy. You know, we have lots of people running mad right now across the streets because the mother or whoever the single parent wasn't able to do that. In fact, sometimes you have both parents and they still can't, you know, get someone together. So what you did was no small beans. Nigerian for was no small feat. Congrats. I want to salute you in the middle of this, because sometimes we don't tell each other, well done sis, great job. Anyway, back to normal, reviewing the show. So let's talk about this, you know, what's it called, chocolate in a bottle. It's meant to be champagne, you know, under the umbrella of the black, you know, night business and beverage stuff. So first of all, I think, you know, the launch was very well planned in terms of, when I'm saying this, well planned. I don't know how the event itself was, but launching while they're televising, smart move there. You know, that's from the book of Candor. One, so great idea, because people are just gonna drink it based on the strength that they saw it on TV, and you guys are getting great numbers and viewership. Great idea, great business move. One, two, you know, Houston's not a bad place to do it at. You know, it's another one of, I think Atlanta, Houston are considered like black meccas. I'm not sure why we are one of them, but it is, you know. So anyway, consider black meccas. And so, you know, there's, and when I say black mecca in terms of where you have business owners, a lot of business owners who are black. That's still not a big thing now, but you know, entrepreneurship, you know, building wealth is owning yours, and not the business running you, but you running the business. Because you can have a business running you and then you end up paying to have a job because it's running you. So you want to have a business that you're running. And so I have nothing but respect for this. So you can see it at the launch of the opening, you know, nephew, Uncle Tommy's there, the Ready to Love crew are there, they're on deck. And then the whole thing, they've been doing trailers for like, what, 2-3 weeks? They kept showing Kyra in another red dress, Kyra, you know what, sis? I'm not mad at you. The whole fiasco about, yeah, something. All he did was what he did as a host. Because in the drink, beverage, you know, nighttime, nightlife business, it's all about hospitality, being personable. You use what you have to get what you want. Hey, how you doing? How you doing, ladies? What's your name? Because you want them to have a good impression of you. So both your business, if you decide to, because he's thinking about possibly opening a black in Houston, both your business and your beverage will do something. Because like the last time I met with this guy, it's all about likability. You don't have to be a good guy, you just have to be likable. And he was trying to be likable, talking with people. Hey, what's your name, Kyra? Then of course, you know, Tisha's insecurities manifest. So she runs, yeah, I saw her, you know, she was, the lady in red dress was eyeing you, now she wasn't. But I guess, and this is business, you know, they decided to put Kyra in the trailers because she had just come hot off a season of Ready to Love, being the Kyra thing. So they threw her in there, did a nice remix and threw it out. But nothing happened, guys, nothing to see here, folks. And everything, in fact, you know what, Kyra, I'm not mad at you. You got some more camera time. What you do with it is on you. But good on you. So it's just like, you know, but Tisha, she made a mountain out of a molehill, and she gave Kyra some camera time. And I think this, once again, I don't know if she's thinking what we mentioned earlier about, you know, the reality TV curse, you know, because, you know, even when stuff is right, but particularly when stuff isn't right, you put yourself in a reality show, yo, you have that stuff at you, but have your stuff looking crazy in no time at all. And so I think that's what Tisha's afraid of, you know, the rumors of this, all these different things running. And I think she's clear that she doesn't want her relationship to break up. And I'm not mad at you. That's the way to do it. So, but just it's you running, and that kind of talk is not what's going to keep it together, but you cementing certain things. Your boudoir scene was okay, you know, helpful. But yeah, so you're going to have to tame that insecurity, because sometimes when you start, the fear of something will actually make that thing actually materialize. So, fine. Therapy. We talked about this. Therapy. Anyway, I'm not going to push. I'm not a therapist, but yeah, therapy might be a good thing. Anyway, moving on. Oh, maybe Mr. Francis. Did I see that before? Mr. Francis has an opening. Motel don't use him anymore. Anyway, moving on. Going into the last scene, you know, finally, Kiowa, who's, you know, Maurice's ex-wife and the mother of Monster, says she wants to sit down and have a meeting with the four of them to talk about co-parenting Monster. What great idea. And so, you know, they do that. They set up the meeting. You know, Kimmy's happy about this, and she's happy not just because not just Kiowa, but Kiowa's husband's coming along too. And she's, you know, it feels good. You know, they're on a better note because I think, you know, part of the dislike that happened between them is when Kiowa had, you know, inferred, or not even inferred, had said that, yeah, she had started dating Maurice before the divorce. Kimmy is very clear that that's not true, and so she's saying it never happened. And so that's where their beef kind of started, where she's like, why would you say something like that? That's an untruth, but not just to my face, but on camera. So that means you told millions of people a lie. I would understand the anger at that too. So, but anyway, somehow they've settled. They're no longer beefing, or not, you know, they're no longer beefing. So anyway, instead of a meeting, they meant to meet and talk, and then of course, you know, it looks like they're gonna be late. He's got meetings, once again. She starts feeling like, you know what, this is what he always does, leaves her in a different position, and then she's left to just kind of put the pieces together. She's left to do like the heavy lifting, and she's resentful of that. You know, I think part of her too, I think part of the reason why she also wanted him there was not to rehash the scene, so to say, but if you think about the scene prior, when Kiowa had mentioned that, you know, she had started seeing him before they divorced. I don't know if Maurice didn't say anything or they didn't show it, but it simply looked like she had said what she said and it fell on the table and there was nobody to defend her. And so she almost wants to, another scene to show that this is not true, folks, because if it was true, we won't be sitting together as a four, just kind of discussing with no beef. So she wants to create a healthier, and I get that, a healthier, although I don't remember the scene until they showed it, but just a healthier recollection of the meeting of the co-parents. I get that, but unfortunately now, Maurice talked about he needs to leave, and I think he actually got up and left. And that's where it ended. I don't know how I feel about the direction of where everything is going, because now they can't focus on Martell and Melody, and so now they want to focus on Maurice and Kimmy, and I honestly, can they take this? Yeah, they can. I'm just hoping that this show doesn't, you know, create holes in their relationship, because it seemed like, you know, I don't want to see any more, you know, honestly, I don't want to see any more weddings. I don't want to see any more marriages break up, because this reality show divorce curse is real. Particularly when they focus on you. You know, Rashida and Frost, Kirk, they made it through, but not everybody does. So anyway, guys, this is the end of the episode. We're going to see next week what happens, you know. What does she have a discussion with Kiowa and Kiowa's husband, even though Maurice is not there, or do they just say we're going to meet later? You know, what happens with, you know, Marceau and Tisha? What are they going to do about, you know, because she's not, you know Tisha. That little thing, then it's not going to end there. She's going to bring it up again. No, he don't know the lady in the red dress. He probably does know her now, but then he didn't. She's going to bring it up again, or something else is going to come up. What's going to happen with them? Is Jalen going to get the support he needs to run the business? How's his business with his mom and the renovation going to go? We're going to find out as the episodes unfold. So everyone, thanks for watching. Lola, over and out.